welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and in today's video I'm going to be reacting to the Manchester United FIFA 21 player ratings. Now EA released their player ratings. They released the top 100 a couple of weeks ago. We saw the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Pogba, Rashford and De Gea make the top 100, but they've now released the top 1000 player ratings, so it basically involves all the relevant players at Manchester United. The only players that aren't really going to be in this video is like Lingard, Timothy Fosu-Mensah, Lindelof and Phil Jones. So all the regular Manchester United players will be featured in this video, and I'm going to be reacting to their player rating. And I have to say, from the player ratings I've already seen of FIFA 21, they got it quite wrong. I don't agree with a lot of the FIFA 21 ratings. Aubameyang and Firmino are the same rating. Aubameyang gets downgraded and Firmino gets upgraded. Don't really get that. Thiago Alcantara is a lower rating than Jordan Henderson. Bayern Munich won the quadruple, treble, they won everything, and like barely anyone got upgraded. I think the FIFA 21 ratings this year are a little bit off. In today's video, I'm going to be reacting to the Manchester United FIFA 21 player ratings. So hit that like button, subscribe down below, share this video, and let's get into it. So our highest rated player on FIFA 21 is Bruno Fernandes, and he's probably been our best player over the last, since he's joined. He's definitely been our best player. Could argue Martial's been one of our best players as well. Now Bruno Fernandes gets an 87 rated card, and I'm not going to complain with that. I think 87, 88, considering he's an 85, he's only had 6 months in the Premier League, is a pretty fair rating. You know, it's a good card, he's the highest rated player. Although, one thing I argue is, I think if Bruno's an 87, Pogba should be an 87. Now moving on to our second highest rated player, in Paul Pogba, he gets downgraded from an 88 to an 86. And I can see why Paul Pogba gets downgraded. He barely played last season. When he did play, he's been mostly good, but he did barely play last season. He wasn't very good last season. However, if you downgrade Paul Pogba, I would have downgraded him by 1 to 87 because Jordan Henderson is 86 rated. Paul Pogba is now the same FIFA rating as Jordan Henderson, and I think that's quite insulting to Paul Pogba. Henderson is a good captain, he's a good team player, he works well in the Liverpool team, but Pogba and Henderson, the levels of difference in quality, like, it just annoys me a little bit. Like, I understand the downgrade, but to have him at the same rating as Jordan Henderson, you know, I think you should have downgraded Pogba 1 to 87, not to an 86. Now, talking of fat downgrades, David De Gea gets a -3 downgrade to an 86. And again, I think this is unfair. I can see De Gea getting a downgrade, but he's not been that bad. Like, De Gea's had loads of good games, but he has made the odd mistake. And the thing about David De Gea is, when De Gea makes a mistake, the whole world goes crazy about it. But did you know Jordan Pickford, Kepa and Ederson made more mistakes leading to goals than David De Gea last season? Ederson's meant to be the best goalkeeper in the league, but when he makes a mistake, it barely gets talked about. And I don't think Ederson is that good of a keeper. Like, he's good with his feet, but he makes lots of mistakes. He's made more mistakes leading to goals in the Premier League than De Gea, but as soon as De Gea makes a mistake, it's massively talked about. Now, De Gea's had some really good games and he's had some poor games. But I would have downgraded De Gea to an 88, but I wouldn't have downgraded him to an 86, because I still think he's one of the best keepers in the league. Like, he pulls off some worldies for save, and I think that De Gea is one of those players that as soon as he makes a mistake, everyone will criticise him, everyone will jump on the bandwagon. Now the next player rating is Marcus Rashford, that got a well-deserved upgrade from an 83 to an 85. His weak foot has also been upgraded from 3-star to 4-star. Now I believe that Marcus Rashford did deserve an upgrade because he was absolutely insane from end of October till obviously his injury, and he was well deserved of an upgrade. He got a +2 upgrade to an 85. I think that's a fair rating. I'm happy with that rating. I think that's what he deserved. But what I'm not happy about is Martial only getting a +1 upgrade to an 84. In my honest opinion, I believe that Martial is a better player than Rashford, and I think over the last 6 months, Martial has probably been one of our best players, if not our second best after Bruno Fernandes. I think we've sort of seen over the last 6 months that Martial has a little bit more quality than Rashford, and I think if, you know, Rashford's an 85, Martial's got to be an 85. Martial could even push for an 86 because he was our top goal scorer last season, our top assister, and he doesn't take penalties, and he was living off Lingard and Pereira for a long time, and he had like a 2-month injury, and he still managed to get over 30 goal contributors last season, which is just a little bit more than Rashford. So what I do have to say is Martial should at least be an 85, considering Rashford's an 85, and I think Martial deserves to be an 85 rated card. I think they rated Martial too low. Talking of upgrades, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who was arguably our player of the season up until lockdown, he didn't look as good post-lockdown, but up until lockdown he was pretty much our player of the season. He gets a nice upgrade to an 83 rated card, and I think he deserves that. He deserves an upgrade. He's proven himself as one of the best right backs in the league, the best right back defensively in the league, so he deserves an 83 rated card, and I'm happy with that. Now Harry Maguire stays at an 82. He's not upgraded, which is fair. Like, I don't think Harry Maguire's been good, but I don't think he's been bad. He's been a solid signing. However, you know, we did keep the second most clean sheets across Europe's top 5 leagues last season. And although, yeah, he's been poor in our last 2 games in the Palace game, I would have actually given Harry Maguire an 83 rated card for the fact that David Luiz and John Stones were 83 rated last FIFA, so like Maguire's better than them, like facts. I generally would have just put Maguire as an 83 because he's still a solid defender, but he did stay at an 82. Luke Shaw also keeps the same rating as an 81 rated card, which is a fair rating, but again I would have given Luke Shaw an 82 rated card because I actually believe after Robertson he is the second best left back in the league. I think Luke Shaw's a really important player for Manchester United, and I think as Manchester United fans we're starting to appreciate what he does, and I would have actually given Luke Shaw an 82 rated card. Fred gets an upgrade to an 81 rated card, which is deserved. He's been really good up until lockdown. He was up there for player of the season. He's looked really good in the last few games. You could argue Fred could be an 82 or an 83 rated card, and I think if he continues the way he's going, and if he continues to put in some good performances, he'll be an 83 maybe next FIFA. I think he's a really underrated player, Fred, and I think 81, you know, he gets an upgrade, that's pretty fair. Sergio Romero stays at an 80. I mean, whenever he played, he was solid. Probably one of the best backup keepers out there. 80 rated, can't really complain with that. Nemanja Matic gets downgraded from an 81 to an 80. Now, I don't agree with this because Nemanja Matic, like, at the end of last season was awful, so I saw why he got downgraded from an 86 to an 81. But at the end of this season, he was bloody amazing. Him, Pogba, Bruno in the midfield. I just thought, Matic has just been a new player this season. Why has he been downgraded? Yes, I get he's ageing, but they should have put Matic back at 82. He should have been upgraded. Like, or I don't get why he was downgraded because he was so poor the season before last, so I understood why he went from an 86 to an 81. But why has he gone from an 81 to an 80 when he's been good? Like, I don't get why they downgraded Matic. Yeah, he's ageing. Get rid of his pace, but Matic has been solid, let's be honest. Lindelof has been downgraded from an 81 to an 80, and the thing that's funny is these ratings were made before the Crystal Palace game, so after the Crystal Palace game, how bad Lindelof was, I could see why he was downgraded, but I actually thought towards the end of last season he was better than Maguire, and I actually thought that Lindelof would get an upgrade this FIFA to an 82 or an 83 rated card because last season as a whole, Lindelof, you could argue, was our best centre-back, so Lindelof being downgraded after the Crystal Palace game, after that shock horror performance, I get it. But when I'm thinking, when these ratings were made, Lindelof was being a good, effective player. So the downgrade for me is a little bit harsh. I would have had Lindelof at an 82 rated card. But, I mean, I can see now why they downgraded him because he was awful versus Palace. But when these ratings were made, Lindelof for me should have been an 82 rated card. I think the Lindelof downgrade is quite mean, considering he literally played every game next to Maguire as well. And he looked better than Maguire at a lot of points. Dean Henderson, 80 rated, fair play, good season at Sheffield United. If he can break into the first team, he'll probably improve on that. He was brilliant against Luton Town. Yeah, I'm happy with Dean Henderson, 80 rated. Juan Mata, 79 rated, deserved a downgrade. 79 is about fair. Eric Bailly gets downgraded from an 80 to a 79 now. I think Eric Bailly is a good solid centre-back, and when he plays he seems to play well, but he barely played last season, so I understand the downgrade. Odin Igalo has a 77 rated card. Yeah, I guess. Like, it's not that good of a player. I'm not going to argue with that. I mean, he probably really is like a 75, but 77, that's a fair card for him. Jesse Lingard has a 77 rated card. That's a -5 downgrade for Jesse Lingard. That is a big downgrade, but up until the last few games of last season, he was awful. I think, you know, since like lockdown, he's actually looked a lot better. But not that he's played much. He's played like 4 games. But yeah, he in whole, he's been pretty poor. And Mason Greenwood gets a +10 upgrade to a 77 rated card, and he's also a right mid. Now, obviously, I get him having a +10 upgrade, but I think considering João Felix got like an 81 rated card, I generally think that Mason Greenwood should have got an 80 rated card, but you know, he's a young player, they're not going to upgrade it massively. 77 rated card, still solid, but I actually reckon Mason Greenwood is much better than a 77 rated card in my opinion. Like, Mason Greenwood, I can say this right now, is better than João Felix, he's better than Vinicius Junior, he's better than Rodrigo, he's better than all those players that have a high rating than him. I think he will definitely get upgraded if he continues to form he's going at. And that's my reaction to the Manchester United FIFA 21 player rating. Let me know your thoughts on the ratings in the comment section down below. Hit that like button, subscribe down below, share this video if you're new. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.